Hello and welcome back, college football fans and black and gold fans alike, to the 2025 college football season premiere episode here on the Touchdown Black and Gold Vlog, the only channel where we examine, discuss, celebrate, and honor all things college football across the entire college football landscape. I'm your usual host, Blair Parks, and it is absolutely excellent to be back with you once again. Thank you very much. You're too kind. As I stated, this is my season premiere here on the Touchdown Black and Gold Vlog. With this episode kicks off my fourth season here of the Touchdown Black and Gold Vlog, and it has been an absolute success, a real pleasure, and nothing but a good time. And I am so grateful that I am here able to share my love for all things college football on the weekly with you, my fellow college football brothers and sisters. But hey, without you, none of this is possible. So please make sure you like, share, click that notifications button so you get notified for any upcoming or recent episodes when they're posted. And please always subscribe, and I always ask for your involvement. Please exercise your rights. I want to hear your college football voice, so please comment below to anything that I present, say, or my opinion during this episode, and I promise I will get back to each and every one of you much sooner than later via those comments. So help me help you find more fans just like you. All right, so once again, fourth season is here. The calendar has turned to July. Our Independence Day holiday has come and gone. So that can mean only one thing.
Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
All right, thank you, President Whitmore. I really appreciate you. But that can mean only one thing. Media days are here. Big 12 was last week. SEC is going on right now. Next week, the Big 10 is up. So with media days, that means the college football season will be upon us very, very soon. And what I like to do, this year I want to switch it up here a little bit. For those of you who've been with me in seasons past, I want to go ahead and start off right out of the gate and share with you my 2025 best bet win totals. Now, I have been very, very spot on my first three seasons here. Usually every year I'll give you anywhere between 3 to 5 of these best bet win totals, and I have hit on every single one of them except for one. So right now my record speaks for itself. If you are a gambling person, which I will be putting a little bit of my own money on these. So hey, I'm with you. I believe in it. If you are a gambler and want to make a little extra money, if you want that wallet or that purse to get a little fatter, please go ahead, pay attention today. And I got a good feeling about the 5 over-under win totals that I'm going to go ahead and share with you here shortly and tell you whether to take the over or the under for those specific bets. So once again today, this one is all about the cash, the dough, the moolah, because I want to help you. I want to help you get to a better position in life. That's right. I want to help you cash in. I want you to be happy. Absolutely. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So as I said, I've only missed on one of these in the previous 3 seasons. So these are the 5 that I will be betting myself. I do have a little bit of indisposable income these days, but I'm looking to at least double that because I like to give my children a good Christmas or maybe take a late season golf trip someplace. Hey, but then again, don't take my advice. And if you do happen to bet a second mortgage on your home and one of these don't hit, it is not my fault. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the ones that I feel the best about. All right. And before I get started, Once again, thank you for being here. Please like, share, comment, get involved, subscribe. Can't wait to hear from you. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with my highest win totals. And these are all via the folks and our friends at FanDuel. In years past, I've used BetMGM, but I'm going to go ahead and switch this season. So these are, as of this morning, the most updated over-under win totals via the folks over at FanDuel. So let's go ahead and start off high. All right. Now, I really want you folks, you guys and girls, to pay attention, because the first two teams I'm going to share with you will be the subject of next week's episode. Little spoiler alert there. Next week's episode, I will be with you, telling you who I think the most overrated team is entering the 2025 college football season. So let's go ahead and start off with my first team up on today's episode, the defending national champions from the Big Ten, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Currently, via FanDuel, their over-under win total is set at 10.5. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go ahead and take the under on this one. All right? Yes, Ohio State, they have talent aplenty. It's basically plug and play. I get that. They recruit at a different level, a whole different universe. Plus, they have the withabouts to go ahead and recruit, but also bring in new talent. But here's the reason why I'm a little worried about 10.5 for them to get to 11 or 12 wins. As I said, Ohio State, coming off a national championship, they were absolutely a better squad and a better roster last season. But that being said, they lost 2 games in the regular season. Gone is quarterback Will Howard. Gone are running backs Travion Henderson. Quintus Junkins is gone. A lot of those studs along the defensive line. So there is a lot to replenish in Ohio State's roster, both offensively, defensively, and also in the special teams. All right. But the other thing that we need to keep in mind, okay, yes, I do believe Ohio State has the potential to be a college football playoff team. I do. But not only were they a better roster last season, but they were also a better coaching staff. That's one thing you have to remember. Gone are both their OC and their DC. Offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, I believe, left for an NFL gig, and defensive coordinator Jim Knowles has departed for in-conference rival Penn State. So there definitely is a lot of what-ifs and things that have to be answered for Ohio State, all right? I mean, you're breaking in a brand new quarterback. I mean, yes, you're loaded at the wide receiver core. I mean, headlined by Jeremiah Smith, potentially one of, if not the best player overall in the whole country. Their offensive line is really set, I think. Their defensive secondary is going to be real solid. But there definitely is some weaknesses right now out of the gate for Ohio State. A lot of unprovens, all right? And they're going to have that huge week 1 game at home when they host the Texas Longhorns, all right? So there's going to be a lot that is going to be answered right out of the gate for Ohio State. And let's also look at their schedule. I mean, this is no cakewalk at all. And I do believe last year's schedule for Ohio State, I think, was even more difficult. But this season, this is what the Buckeyes are looking at, all right? Now, at home, they do have aforementioned Texas in week 1, and they do also host Penn State, who a lot of folks believe is the best team in the entire nation, also like that Texas squad, all right? But they're also on the road at a very sleepy, a very, very tough Washington squad. Anybody who's ever watched a game from Seattle, you know that place is absolutely off the hook. So they're at Washington. They're at Illinois, who a lot of folks believe is a college football playoff contender, and also at their arch rival Michigan, who has taken the last 4 in a row against the Buckeyes. So right there, those are all going to be potential losses, all right? It is for the Buckeyes. So my smart money to me and most of you is going to be the under for Ohio State, all right, for the defending national champions. Not saying they're going to be a good team. They definitely will be, but they're going to have at least 2 losses. They just are, all right? It just really comes down to when, but not really if, all right? So my number 2 team I want to share with you as far as my best bet win totals, I'm going to start off with the Texas Longhorns from the SEC. Right now via FanDuel, they're pegged at 9.5 wins over under for the season. And like I said, I think either Ohio State or Texas, one of these 2 squads, is the most overrated team entering the season. But let's go ahead and talk about Texas, all right? Is Texas back, all right? Officially, the Arch Manning era begins down there in Austin. They are favored by most everybody to not only reach but win the SEC conference, and they are favored by many news outlets, specialists, pundits, media, to get to the college football playoff and win the national championship, all right? And just like Ohio State, this is Texas. They have every bell and whistle that you need. Anything that you can imagine, they have, all right? Recruiting, the equipment, the facilities. I mean, definitely at another universe, just like Ohio State, all right? So they do have talent aplenty, a plethora, as you would their Heffy from the Three Amigos, a plethora of talent there at Texas. But to me, a lot of unprovens, just like Ohio State. So the 9.5 wins, I'm taking the under on Texas, all right? And actually 2 weeks ago, I think this was at 10.5 wins. So right there is some movement via the bets to where that's come down a full game, all right? So I wish I would have put this out, a couple weeks prior when it was 10.5. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit further in depth about Texas, all right? Now, yes, they have a schedule that does provide them the opportunity to accumulate many wins. I mean, double-digit wins could happen, all right? When you look at their conference opponents that they play this season in the SEC, which most SEC folks would say there's no such thing as an easy schedule in the SEC, well, this schedule I beg to differ, all right? And this is the exact same schedule from last season, which was the Longhorns' inaugural season in the SEC. Entering last year, so the same opponents they'll play this year within the SEC, they had a 35% winning percentage in the SEC conference play. All right, so their schedule definitely provides them the opportunity to reach double-digit wins, but gone is a ton of production on the offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, and as I said, you're breaking in a brand new quarterback who Arch Manning, getting a lot of the Heisman love, he is going to be a good quarterback. But then again, this is a head scratcher, 9.5 wins. This is a quarterback who couldn't beat out last year's starting quarterback at Texas, a guy who couldn't throw the ball beyond 40 yards, a guy who they wouldn't even let him throw a quick slant in the red zone because of his arm strength. So there's going to be some learning curves and some speed bumps in the road for Arch Manning. There just is, okay? So I'm definitely taking the under on Texas. I think this is way blown out of proportion. I think they could be a college football playoff participant, but I'm not buying the hype quite yet. That's for both Ohio State and for Texas. So let's go ahead and look at the Texas schedule here for the Longhorns. I mean, they're at home. They're at home against A&M, and they play their arch rival Oklahoma at a neutral site in Dallas there in the Red River rivalry game. But on the road, at aforementioned, they do open up at Ohio State, also travel to Florida and to Georgia, a Georgia squad that beat them not only once, but twice last season. So once again, I see at least 3 losses on this schedule. And I forgot to mention these over-under win totals represent the regular season only. This does not include potentially if these teams reach a bowl game, the playoff, or their conference championship game. This is the 12 games in the regular season. So take the under on Texas, because that's what I'm going to be doing. All right? So let's go and move on to my number 3 team that I want to mention in this year's Best Bet win totals. And please, like, share, comment, get involved. Let me know what you think about my take on Ohio State and Texas. Number 3, from the ACC, the Miami Hurricanes. The U, that's right. Currently via FanDuel, Miami is set at 9.5 victories. So let's talk about the Hurricanes, all right? In the offseason, they added quarterback from Georgia, Carson Beck. I mean, we know that Miami has offensive weapons all over the place. It is not a question of will these guys score points. It really comes down to how much, and we know what the calling card is going to be for head coach Mario Cristobal. We know he's an O-line guy, a D-line. They're going to be physical. That's their identity. That's his calling card. But I'm just a little bit concerned if the Miami Hurricanes have learned how to play defense down there in South Beach, all right? Gone is quarterback Cam Ward, off to the NFL. So 9.5 victories, I'm taking the under on the Hurricanes. I think they will be a player in the ACC conference race, but I definitely see 3 losses on that schedule, all right? So I'm just so worried about that lack of defense again. They couldn't stop anybody last season, all right? And their schedule is no cakewalk. They open up week 1, they host Notre Dame. Tough game there. And Notre Dame was the national title runner-up last season after all. So they host Notre Dame. They host in-state rival Florida. They host a really good Louisville squad. I think Coach Braun is going to be he's basically going to have his best team yet in the ACC. So a tough home schedule. But on the road, they also go to another arch rival. They travel to Doak Walker to take on Florida State, who there's no way Florida State can be this bad again this season. They travel to Florida State, travel to SMU, a playoff participant last season, and they travel the last game of the season to a really, really solid and potentially a surprising Pittsburgh team. So I'm taking the under on Miami, all right, because I just don't. Way too many question marks for me right there, right down in South Beach, all right? I love the U, but I don't see them getting to 10 wins. I just don't. Sorry. And I guess time will tell, we'll wait and see, but that's true of all of these 5 teams that I'm telling you right now. So far I've had 3 unders. Let's go ahead and move to my number 4 team for my best bet win totals. And I'm going to go back to the SEC. I'm going to bring up the Oklahoma Sooners. Currently via FanDuel, pegged at 6.5 victories over under. And I'm going to say right now, I'm taking the over on Oklahoma. All right? The last season, in their inaugural season in the SEC, anything and everything that could have went wrong did for the Sooners and coach Brent Venables. I think he finds himself on one of the hottest of all seats in college football. It's basically put up or shut up, I think, this year for Coach Venables. And last year they went 6-7. They lost their bowl game to Navy. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what happened last season and then this year's squad. Last year, all right, in the first quarter of the season, they lost all 5 of their top wide receivers. Their offensive line gave up 50 sacks. I mean, that has to be better. You're not going to lose that many position players again. You're just not at wide receiver. And they also had definitely had a talent upgrade in the offseason via the transfer portal. They bring in quarterback John Mateer from Washington State. Also they bring in running back Jaden Ott from California, and also with John Mateer. They also brought his offensive coordinator with him to Oklahoma, so there's not going to be much transition there for this player. Now, I get it. His numbers, you might look at his production from last season and say, well, Blair, that was against maybe lesser competition. Definitely true, but it is an absolute upgrade to what they had last season. Okay, it just is. So there's no way this team is going to be snake bitten twice. All right. So 6.5 wins. I think they're going to get at least to 7. And when you look at their schedule, I think potentially Oklahoma could be one of those surprise playoff participants, or at least get into that playoff conversation and remain in it until the very end of the season. I mean, and when you look at something else that didn't really go their way, it kind of compounded what happened to them with their injuries and their disgusting offensive line play last season, was their schedule. All right. Unlike their Texas counterpart, who I mentioned that coming into last season, the SEC conference opponents that Texas played had a 35% win percentage. Now, compared to Oklahoma's, who had a 65% win percentage entering last year. It's the exact same schedule, just flip-flop from home to home, basically. So when you look at their schedule, and this is why I think they're going to eclipse that 6.5 wins, but also get themselves into the playoff conversation, is here they've got plays at home. They host Michigan, a huge game in week 2 down there. Sharon Moore returns to his alma mater down there at Oklahoma. So they host Michigan, host Auburn, Ole Miss, and LSU. They're on the road at Tennessee and Alabama. Definitely tough places to play. And they play their arch rival, Texas, in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. So if they find a way to get to 9-3, as long as they don't have a bad loss, they're going to be in that conversation for a playoff spot. So I'm taking Oklahoma for over 6.5. I'm really bullish on the Sooners this season. I just am. All right. So let me know what you think about my takes so far for Ohio State, Texas, Miami, Oklahoma, and I got one more to share with you. My final team that I'm going to share, my 5th team for my best bet win totals. I'm going to go to the ACC conference. I'm going to go ahead and I'm looking at the Duke Blue Devils. All right. Currently, FanDuel has them at 6.5 wins over under. I'm taking the over on the Blue Devils. I love this team. I think this is going to be another one of those sneaky good teams that are really off everybody's radar. All right. Last year, they won 9 regular season games under first-year coach Manny Diaz. They really surprised a lot of folks in the ACC. And in the offseason, they did add in the transfer portal Tulane quarterback Darian Mensah. This is a quarterback that could have went anywhere. I mean, basically, when you look at John Mateer, who was available, I mean, Darian Mensah may have been the 2nd or 3rd best quarterback that was in last year in the offseason's transfer portal. All right. Plus, this is why else I love this Duke team. Other than Clemson, I love how they're built. I mean, Duke has this season, other than Clemson, as I mentioned, the best combination along the offensive line and the defensive line. This is a defensive unit last year that recorded 43 sacks. I mean, they know who they are. They know what they're good at, and they know what they're not good with. And I think that is going to really propel them into that conversation in the ACC. All right. I love this team. I mean, I think this is guaranteed money in the bank. This is taking the over for Duke. I mean, this is going to pay off. You're going to be hearing this sound a lot if you put this money on Duke and all of these. I mean, you just are. It's going to pay off. All right. So why else am I really bullish on Duke for the over? I mean, look at their schedule. I mean, They do host Illinois in week 2, and that's going to be a sneaky test for the Fighting Illini. I think that's a game that could maybe either potentially keep or remove the Fighting Illini in that playoff conversation if they lose in Durham to the Blue Devils. And in conference, they also host Georgia Tech. I love Haynes King there at quarterback at Georgia Tech. I think they're going to be an excellent football team. They do play at Clemson, and they do play week 3 at Tulane. And Tulane has proven to be one of those tough outs for the group of 5. I mean, it's an excellent program, but hey, Duke poached their starting quarterback from last season. All right? So some tough road games there, but I love about Duke in the ACC in conference play, they don't play Miami, SMU, or Louisville. All right? So I'm telling you, don't be surprised if we even see this Duke team face off against Clemson or somebody else in the ACC title game. I love this ball team. I don't think there's going to be much fallout at all for the Blue Dude. Blah. I do my own stunts here on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. Much fall off for the Duke Blue Devils. All right. So that's it, guys. That is my 5 best college football win totals for the upcoming 2025 season. Get these bets in soon. FanDuel, BetMGM, whatever platform you use, go to your neighborhood casino, put some money down, but stay within your means. And I'm telling you, I feel really good about these 5. I'm going to be putting a little bit of money on each one of these myself. So I practice what I preach because I want you to be in a good spot. All right. I want you to get that payoff. All right. So that's my episode for today. It's a great start to the season. Please, once again, like, share, comment below, subscribe, spread the word about the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog to your friends, coworkers, your fellow college football fanatics. Next week, so from here out until the beginning of the season, I'll be with you on the weekly. Next week, my episode will be who I believe is the most overrated team entering the 2025 college football season. And as I mentioned earlier this episode, it will be one of the teams that I talked about during this episode itself. So until then, enjoy the rest of your work week. Be safe, be responsible. And I say to you, peace, prosperity, and I'll see you next week on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. And as always, go Hawks. See you then.